Hey everyone, welcome back to Fierce in the Field. I have Vanessa Hoxha in studio today. I am so excited for you to be here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. If you want to go ahead and just introduce yourself a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like you said, Vanessa Hoxha, I feel like we're the same age, which is why this is so much fun to do this together.
It is.
Yeah, I'm 21 years old. I go to Loyola University in Chicago. I am a multimedia journalism major with the minor in Islamic World Studies, and I have done a lot, I feel like, so I don't even know where to begin. But as of right now, I'm currently interning at ESPN Chicago as a content intern. I grew up in Chicago, just like you.
Yeah.
I grew up in Lincolnwood. It's just up north, past Rogers Park, and then right below Skokie. And that's just a little bit about me.
I was so excited because I was like, oh my gosh, she's from Chicago. She's from the city. Like, she gets it. So walk me through your internship a little bit. How has it been so far?
Yes. So this has got to be one of my dream internships. I feel like, and I bet you can relate to, it's like as a junior or senior, you're kind of trying to navigate things, and you're starting off, and I'm just like on LinkedIn just looking for any openings that are something that I want to do, so that's kind of where it started, just on LinkedIn and stuff. And then I kind of posted this on my LinkedIn too, but I'll rephrase it for you as well, and obviously for the Fierce in the Field pod. So I went my freshman year of college. Yes. I went to the Bulls Career Fair at the United Center, and they have a bunch of outlets there. They have the Bears, the White Sox, the Cubs, but I just kind of did that as my way into the door, I guess, just to kind of see what there was out there, explore different avenues, see what these sports teams were looking for an employee or an intern, etc. So that's what I did. I actually brought my sister along with me because
fun.
And she is not anywhere near the sports field. She, at the time, she was doing interior design at Columbia. Okay. And now she does hair full time. So
fun. How old's your sister?
You would think she's my twin. Yeah. But it's actually a funny story. So I call her my sister, but she's not actually my sister. Yeah. So her mom and my mom are sisters, and her dad and my dad are brothers. So it's like two sisters married two brothers, and they're the only siblings. So it's like that's my only first cousin. Oh, okay. But we're so close, and we grew up in the same house, and we live in a duplex now. So it's like, it's basically, I just call her my sister. So if you get confused,
that's so awesome.
Yeah. So if you get confused, that's why I only have two older brothers. But
I was going to say, wait, do you have a twin? Because I have a twin sister.
Really?
Yes. So I get the same age type of thing. Yes.
No, not my twin and not my sister. But it got to the point in high school and middle school where I was just like, yeah, we're twins. Because I couldn't be asked to just keep
especially
repeating
if it's
it to everyone.
A random person.
Exactly.
It's just, we're twins.
Because
it's
not
easier.
she's way closer than my cousin. And we literally do everything together. And so she actually has 5 sisters. Okay. But those 5, I consider my sisters. So yes. Yeah. Anyways. Okay. Little backstory. But anyways, I went with her, and I was like, her name's Emily. I was like, please just come with me. I just want to see what they have. I don't have anyone to go with.
You need a buddy.
I need a buddy. I just need someone to be with. And honestly, at the time, she was holding my place in line because there was so many people here. I kid you not. People are dressed to the nines. Everyone's in blazers. Everyone has a resume.
Everyone's holding their folder.
Yes, and mind you, my little freshman self is there with 0 experience.
Wait, good for you for going to this, because I would be so scared to go.
It was so intimidating because I didn't come with a resume. I didn't go with anything. A cover letter. Because you
had no college experience yet.
Yes, I had 0, and I had also no experience of any career fair of the sort.
Right.
So I was like, we got there also, and I was like, I feel like I'm not prepared. I didn't print a resume. I didn't do anything. I was literally there in my Louis Vuitton little purse that my mom got me
I'm crying.
in middle school.
You're like, I need a dress to impress.
Yeah, so I'm I'm in my, the one. It's what is it called? It's the basic Louis Vuitton.
Just the little shoulder bag.
Yes, the shoulder bag.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Or the crossbody that you can make into a shoulder bag.
Yes.
So that's what I went with. And I'm like, and a notebook. No, that's a lie. I didn't go with a notebook. They gave me a notebook there. Okay. So I was like, at least I have something that makes me look a little bit professional. Yeah. But totally not prepared. And I was like, I'm literally going to make a fool out of myself. I can't go up to any of these people because they're literally going to laugh in my face that I'm not prepared. And this little freshman me is here. Anyways,
okay.
Moving forward, I go and we're there and the lines were so long. So I'm like, stay in that line. So then I can go with her and then just use her spot. I don't know if that's fine to do, but we did it anyway. But anyways.
That's fine. Yeah.
Work smarter, not harder. So then we're going up to all these things and literally all the answers I'm hearing is like, you know, you're a freshman, figure it out, see what you want to do. Yeah. Like, just, you don't know yet.
They tell you to get involved. They're like, get involved with every single thing, which is true.
And I'm like, okay, fair. Yeah. I will. And like, I'm not going to lie to you, Josie. Like, my freshman year I went in. I didn't like.
Oh, yeah.
I never cared for like the college experience.
Yeah.
Because I always had older siblings and we always like had fun together. So I was never craving, you know, the fun. It was always just go for me. Yes. And I think that has to do with like my family and the way I grew up. Yeah. It was always just like on go mode where it's like, okay, what's next? So now what are you going to do?
Wait, I'm like very similar. I like that you said that because that was when I didn't even know that I specifically wanted to do sports broadcasting walking into Indiana. Like I was like, oh, I think I want to do broadcasting, but I'm not really sure. And as soon as I figured out that was what I wanted to do, which was like right after my like media school like initiation thing, I was like, oh, I need to be doing this full time. Like that's what I was like doing the entire time. So I get that. It's very like go.
Yeah, and then you hear people telling you, like, just don't worry about it. Like, you're still a freshman. Like, do your thing.
Yeah.
Senior year, you'll figure it out. Like, have fun. Do what you got to do. And, like, to me, that never really resonated with me. I'm not going to lie. I didn't care for it. And I could still have fun. But, like, this was fun for me because I liked sports. And I liked being on camera. And I liked talking. And I liked writing stories. And I liked doing all these things. So, for me, that was fun.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, this is fun for me. And if it is work as well, then what better way to thrive?
Yeah.
So
to incorporate both. Like you were like, this is what's for me.
Exactly. Yeah. So then I was like, so whatever. I'm at this career fair and I'm like listening to these people and I'm like, yes, taking it all in, writing notes. Like, again, I didn't expect anything out of this because I am a freshman. Right. I don't have anything under my belt. I just wanted to get exposure and to see what these people were looking for.
And to meet people, to grab a couple emails.
To network.
So important.
As they always say, networking is key.
Yes.
So then I did just that. And then I walked up to ESPN's Chicago's table at the time, the Good Karma Brands table. And that's where I met now my manager, Sonny. And he was... honestly, I don't even know how to explain it, just so inviting. Mm-hmm. And although I was a freshman, for some reason, our encounter was just different than the others just because it was not like, oh, you're a freshman, like just figure it out. Mm-hmm. It was like, hey, listen, this is what you got to do. Stay on the path, stay consistent, do your thing, circle back to me when you're, you know, an upperclassman and you're ready to like look for that internship that is looking for juniors and seniors and upperclassmen. And then we'll talk. Yeah. And if you're kind of in this place where you are now because he saw that ambition in me and he saw that I was willing to do what it takes to get in the door, he was like, if you still have this, you know, by that time, like, then we'll talk.
Come back. Yeah.
And I was like, got it.
It's always the best feeling to find people that take you seriously.
Yes.
Because even now I feel like we're like going to be seniors and we're obviously like very into like what we want to pursue.
Yeah.
But there's still people that are like, oh, you know, join things, make things. You'll be fine.
I did join them.
Right. And then it's like,
I did. What else? What's
but then
next?
When you meet someone that's genuinely like, oh my gosh, reach out to this person or let me do this for you. It's so nice and so rewarding. You're like, there's still people in this world that like want to help other people, which is so nice.
Yes. So that exactly. And that's that. I had that feeling and I was just so happy. And then I was like, okay, perfect. And I think that's actually the last table that I visited too, because they were like closing down or whatever. The career fair was over. And I'm like, okay, so I left with that. I followed him on LinkedIn, connected with him there. And I just kept doing my thing. Yeah. So then I was like, I just need to do what he said and do what I was wanting to do since, you know, which is the reason why I'm here. So I spent the rest of my college career doing that. That my freshman year, I actually did get an internship with News Nation. So I don't know if you're
freshman
familiar.
Year, really?
Yes. So
wow, that's impressive.
Thank you. I was like, honestly, one of my more proud moments. I was because, you know, everyone is looking for a junior or senior, and for them to take a chance on a freshman is not something that you see very often.
Not at all.
Just because you don't really have as much experience. Maybe they don't trust you as much, or they don't take you as seriously. And I was like telling the person that interviewed me at the time, I was like, listen, like, I'm serious about this. Like, I know I can do a good job, and I'm here like to prove to you that I can. And she took a chance on me, and honestly, it was like the best experience of my college career. I think like my team, I was on Ashley Banfield's team, and I mean, we had just a small office, but those people, like, I would do anything for them.
Yeah.
They're so sweet, and we just had such a good relationship.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to leave you guys.
It's always so hard when you are in a work environment of something that you love and you love the people, and then you're like, wait, my job is temporary. I'm an intern. I have to leave. And it's the worst.
I know. Yeah. And that's what I'm starting to feel like here with ESPN. I mean, I've only been there for like 2 weeks now, but yeah. Anyways, I don't even know where I was. I'm kind of just like going all over the place because that's just kind of how my story is.
Yeah.
But so then I ended up getting an internship there. I did it there, and then I was involved in a lot of extracurriculars and the student broadcasts on campus.
Yeah.
Rambler Sports Locker, which is our student-run sports broadcast. And then I was just kind of doing everything and doing stories and whatever.
Yes.
And then I want to say, so then circling back to ESPN, like I'm kind of like, again, veering off the track, but
trying to figure it out,
to bring it back to what I was talking about from the beginning was then come my junior year, or around there, I was like, I need an internship because my internship didn't count for me to graduate, and I still needed it as a graduation requirement. And I also told myself, like, hey, if I get a internship freshman year, I need to get at least one more before I graduate because that was my goal for myself, where it's like, hey, I just need to keep climbing. Like, I can't be okay with just having an internship freshman year. Like, I need to just keep climbing the ladder and improve, because if I go for a job, let's say post-grad, and I say, hey, I had an internship my freshman year, and they're like,
okay, what are you doing now?
Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
So it's like I needed to do more. So I tried doing a lot more at school. I revamped and revitalized an old program we had called Rambler Roundup, which is just more local news tailored to Loyola and like the Rogers Park area, or just in general in Chicago. So I did that, and I then got the position as the in-game host for the men's basketball team, which is, again, probably one of my favorite experiences in college.
Yes, I love it.
It's so amazing. We could talk about that later if you want, but then my junior year, I was like, I need an internship. So then I'm like going, and I'm reaching out, and then I reached out to Sunny, who I met, and I was like, hey, mind you, we've kind of been connected on LinkedIn, but now I felt like I was ready for what he wanted at that time. And I was like, hey, like, okay, I'm ready for this. Like, I'm a junior now, or I want an internship. Like, do you guys have anything available? I know we talked a year or two ago when I was a freshman, but like, here I am now. This is me. Here's my resume. Like, again, stacked resume now compared to when I walked in my freshman year. So then he messaged me back, and he's like, hey, Vanessa, stay tuned for summer. I was like, perfect. Got it. Stay tuned for summer. I did just that. And then the summer came around, and I had saw that they posted the summer content intern, and I was like, this is it. Like, this is my
what
shot.
I want to do. Yeah.
This is it. I need to apply. I need to put my best foot forward. And I wrote my cover letter, and I wrote it out to him because he's the internship coordinator, and I knew that him and I had already talked.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, to whom it may concern. No. I am reaching out.
Put that name in. If you have a connection and you know someone.
Because it's so much more meaningful, because I'm not addressing the company. Like, I'm addressing the person that, wants to hire me, and hey, this is it. Like, this is where I started. It's so good. The time, and I think I literally started with, the time has finally come where it's time to apply.
I love that.
Yeah, so I did that.
Good for you. That's so funny.
And then I had my 2 round of interviews, and then I got the call, and it was actually, I was happy enough that it was actually when my boyfriend was in town, because he lives in Texas, but he was in town, and I got the call that I got the internship. And Josie, when I tell you, like, I was doing something, and I saw like Sunny Parks is calling, and I was like,
and you like stopped.
I literally had to stop everything I was doing. I don't even know.
Did he call you?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. And I was like, what do I do? I was like, I was busy, and I was like, I need to stop everything. And I'm like, hello. And hi. And I'm like, I'm so nervous. Like, my heart is like in my stomach, and he gave me like the best news that I could have literally asked for. And he told me that I got it along with someone else. and if I was going to accept, blah, blah, blah. And then here we are. And then I literally went up, and my boyfriend was with his siblings. They were in my house, and then I literally like went up, and he was the first person I told, and it was just so exciting because he got to be there for me too. So
yeah,
it was like the best thing ever. So now here I am 2 weeks in. Here, back to your question. I just wanted to preface with a little bit of background.
No, I love it.
Because it's much deeper than like, oh, I got the internship, you know, and everything looks so beautiful on social media, and it's like, oh my God, she's doing this. Oh my God, she's doing that. But it's like, oh girl, if only you knew what it took to get here.
Such a grueling process. Like when I was in LA this past semester. So I did like a semester in LA program, and I interned for Fox Sports, which was such a good experience. Like I have similar things to say about my Fox Sports internship, but it was just the best community of people, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, like that looks so fun, that's so awesome. And I was like, it's so fun, it's so awesome, if only you knew what it took to get it. Because I didn't really, it was like a mutual connection of a mutual of a mutual. Like it was just so many like layers and phone calls and emails to go through. And then when you finally get that interview, and then you get that email, or in your case a phone call saying you got something, it's like just so rewarding because you know you worked so hard for it.
Yes, it was more so a feeling of relief, because I'm not gonna lie, they say like getting a full-time job is a full-time job, but getting an internship is a full-time job, especially now. I don't know what's in the water, but it is so competitive. And mind you, like I applied to I don't even know how many internships. Over probably 50.
There's some that I don't think I've heard anything from.
Back.
No.
Hello,
like, but are you looking at it?
So then I'm like, it was such a good feeling. And at the end of the day too, like I was upset when I didn't get those other internships. Like, I got way more no's than yeses, like that's for sure. But, and you know, I was upset, and like I'm like, what do they want? Like I literally had everything on paper, and I would like talk to my family, and I'm like, am I doing something wrong? Like what? Am I maybe missing something here? Is my resume not good? Is my cover letter not good? Like, because everyone tells you like, oh my God, you're doing such a good job. You're ahead of the curve. Like you're, you know, but it's like, I am. And then I just get told no. But then it's like, I'm not.
Yes.
So but listen, I understand. Like some people, I get some companies are just, maybe I just wasn't the perfect fit for them. And that's fine. And I totally get that. But as a college student, as someone who's trying to navigate into the industry, it's hard. Like it's hard to be told no, and it's hard to kind of bounce back from that, because it's discouraging a little, because it's like you can do as much as you can, and you could do all that you can, and you'll still just get told no. And that's fine, and you just kind of have to accept that. And I think that's with everything in life. Like that's just the kind of the motto I go for. Like, hey, like if it's not meant for me, like it won't be mine, period. Like no matter what I do, no matter who I reach out to, no matter who I call, how good my resume is, how good my demo reel is, like if it's not for me, it's just not for me, and then it won't be mine. So like that's kind of what I had to come to terms with, and like I do so with my faith as well, where it's like, hey, like if it's meant to be, it's gonna be, and you just got to keep pushing. And thankfully now at ESPN, like I see the fruits of my labor, and like I'm like sometimes I'm like sitting in the office, and I'm like, wow, like this me a year ago like would have dreamed of this opportunity, you know. And it's like it's so amazing, and it's like I just wish everyone could feel that. And I feel like you can say the same thing too, where it's like, even in LA or like getting those opportunities, it's like, wow, like if someone could feel what I'm feeling right now, like I wish everybody could, because it's such an amazing feeling. But that also goes with hard work. Like nothing comes easy. So
100%. Like you took basically all the words out of my mouth. Like everything happens for a reason. You will not get put, and you will have jobs that you don't like, especially with internships. Like you will be put in specific areas of the company that you don't like, but you will not have a job where you don't have some kind of takeaway from it. Like even if you dislike it, like you will learn something about yourself. You'll learn something about, I don't know, maybe you thought you really liked something. Like for example, if you were working like a programming internship or a production internship, and you're like, oh, do you know what? I think I really like this, but I actually like content creation instead. Like you just never know. And like I literally tell myself all the time, my friends and I, when we were in LA, we made this like checklist, like, okay, here are things that we like should do in LA. Here are things we like hope happen in LA. And we put like silly ones at the bottom, like we got to cover, like, we got to go to a couple, like, red carpet premieres, like, through both of our internships. And we were like, oh, go to a movie premiere. But, like, as a joke. Because we were like, we don't think we're actually going to do something like that.
Yeah.
And then when we, at the end of our internship program, when we checked back on the list, things that we thought were so silly and so impossible, we actually were able to do.
That's
and
so
then it was, like, the little stuff where it was, like, go see the conservatory or go on a hike we didn't do. So it was like flipped from what we actually thought. But it's just like when you look back and you're like, oh, if I could tell incoming freshman 18-year-old me that this is what I was doing, that's kind of where the reward is. Because you're like, I just know she would be so happy from even like the first time I stepped foot on a sideline or the first time I stepped foot like in front of a camera. Like she would be so just amazed to know that I was doing something like that. So I think that's really where you kind of have to set your mindset sometimes. You're like, wait, let me take a step back, think about how many things I've done, and then that's kind of where...
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, I want to hear more about your internship specifically. You're doing content creation. Is there anything that really sparked your interest in that specific field first? Anything that you've experienced at the company so far that you've just really enjoyed?
So in terms of just the content creation or what I do, it's more so just... making shorts, making reels, taking the talents, radio segment and putting it on YouTube or on Instagram. And, they kind of disperse that how they like. But it's more, like I said, I'm only 2 weeks in. So I'm honestly just dabbling into like a lot of things. Like I was with the marketing team for a little bit. And now I'm here like doing, obviously the content is more so what I'm focused on. But listen, what we do is content. So whether we like it or not, like we're going to be needing to do all these things. You're going to have to do this, whether you're on camera or you're behind the scenes, like us as MMJs, like we're going to need to be cutting. We're going to need to be editing. We're going to need to be doing all these things anyway. So it's like, it's so amazing to be able to do that at an already well-established company. Yeah. And, just working out like what I'm going to have to be doing for myself anyway, or whoever it is down the line or another company or hopefully that same company, to just kind of work on my skills already, So there's not really anything specific. Like every day is different, which is nice. Every day there's something else that you need to put out or a different short or a different like content idea. But I think my favorite part so far, I guess, would be when I did get to like be on camera a little bit. And I was, we had this golf outing. It was Grip It and Sip It, and I got to like just bring out like my little mic and do like a little funny segment.
I think I saw that. Yeah, that
which is
so
like
fun. Yes.
Rate the outfits, or that trend that goes around where it's like, oh, what would you rate her outfit? Would you think other people rate it the same? So kind of corny and so whatever, but it was a way for me to get in front of the camera and do something for the company that I'm interning with. So it was that was probably my favorite part. But like I said, every day is different.
Oh my God, yeah. And I feel like that stuff where you're doing like the funnier videos, like rate this person's outfit, or like what are you like, I don't know, like where'd you get your clothes, rate scale of 1 to 10. I feel like
checks.
Yes, I feel like that kind of stuff. I honestly haven't done too much of it, but if I do any of it, and I did some of it last year when I was on the Cape, it kind of helps me like get on my shell a little bit in front of a camera, because you get the chance to be funnier and sillier, for sure, and that brings a little bit more personality out. Yeah. So then you actually feel like get good content to use for like your reel, and
no, absolutely, that is something for sure I'll be doing on my using on my reel. And I did like a little stand up, and just again, you get what you put into things. So I tell this, I'm also I'm in the School of Comm, so I'm a School and Comm ambassador. And what I tell like incoming freshmen or people that are looking at Loyola, and it's like, oh, what can I get from Loyola? Or do you find that it helps you in the real world? And I say the same thing to everyone. I said, you get what you put into it. So if you go to Rambler Sports Locker, for example, and you report every day, you write a story, you edit your scripts, you take notes from the advisors and from the executive producers, and you do all of that, you're going to get better and you're going to get more opportunities. Yeah. Period. Oh, yeah. But if you go and you just sit and you watch, or you don't go at all, then you're not going to get the opportunities because you didn't put anything into it. So it's like, I was there, my freshman, sophomore year, every Thursday because I knew that I needed to get better, and I knew that I liked to do this, and I knew that I needed to get reps, and I knew that I needed stuff for my demo reel. So I did get a good demo reel out of it, and I did get the opportunity to cover the men's basketball team in Brooklyn for the A10 championship. Like, I got those opportunities because I put in the work. And listen, hard work is not going to go unnoticed. Like, people are going to see your work, and it's going to be admirable, and you're going to get opportunities. But if you don't do anything, then no, you won't. But that's not at Loyola. That's anywhere you go. That's at Indiana. That's at Northwestern. That's at Harvard. Like, anywhere you go, if you don't put the effort, you're not going to get any results. Yeah. So,
and if there's not an easy outlet to do something, make one.
Yeah.
Like, literally make your own stuff. Like, I cannot count how many times I've been like, oh, okay, I need to make something myself. And I've set up, I used to do like acting and stuff in high school. So I have one of those like blue backdrops. And I had it my first couple years at school, and I would like set it up in my like dorm room or apartment or sorority house when I was living there. And I would take my phone, which was literally not even this quality yet because it was like the old iPhone. And I would take a tripod and I would like film hits and stand-ups just to have like literal videos of me speaking. And I could have done that for something at school, but it was like I couldn't because I didn't have access to talk about a certain sport or a certain thing. So it's just like you have to make the most of your experience and like use your resources, talk to people, but also you have yourself at the end of the day.
Yes.
So use it.
100%.
Yeah.
I was the same exact way, which is why I even started VTV or Vanessa Hoxha TV, because it was literally that.
Yeah.
I didn't know where I wanted to put certain content, and I wanted to film videos, but they didn't fit with sports. And Loyola, all they had at the time was Rambler Sports Locker. And I wanted to, also establish credibility as a reporter and as, an MMJ. So I'm like, I just need to do it myself. And I need to create my own outlet, and I need to create a little brand. And I feel like that's exactly what you're doing right now, even with like Fierce in the Field. It's like, that's what you need to do, because if you don't have those opportunities, you just need to make them.
Yeah. Exactly. So tell me a little bit about Vanessa Hoxha TV. I know you made it like you have your own Instagram page and you've gotten a lot of opportunities from that. Talk to me a little bit about that experience.
Yeah. So like I said, it was kind of like just a way for me to post stories and content on a page that was mine, and I got to control what I say and got to control the stories of what I put out. And I could definitely be doing a better job, but I'm juggling a lot of things. So naturally, it's like, you fall short on some places, but you compensate with something else, and that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles.
It's not perfect. Also, like, I have to remind myself all the time, I'm like, even with Fierce in the Field, I'm like, oh my gosh, the Instagram doesn't look good. You have 4 posts on the Instagram page, or oh my gosh, I don't know this, I don't know that. It's like,
don't worry, it looks good.
Relax. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. But it's like little things. It's like, first of all, you're still in school. You still have so much to learn. And also, like, you're just getting started. Like, you don't need to put so much weight on your shoulders right away. Yeah. But continue.
But yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. So then I was like, so I did a couple stories, and I have a couple stories that are now on my reel, and I've posted on VTV. And, but yeah, I mean, it's really simple. The answer was just that I didn't have that outlet. So I just created it. And if I got followers, I got followers. And if I didn't, I didn't. And it was just a way for me to just get reps in. Yeah. That wasn't with sports, because I love sports. I've played sports my whole life. I grew up around sports, but I didn't know if that's all I wanted to do. Yeah. I started with sports because that was all Loyola had to offer. And coming out of high school, where I had to let all my sports go because I didn't want to take it to the collegiate level, I still wanted to be in the sports world because I loved it. But I also didn't expose myself to the other opportunities like general news or like talk TV or just anything else in general, entertainment, music, anything. So I knew that I wanted to do that. And in order to do that, I needed to pave my own path. And that's exactly kind of what I did. And even with Rambler Roundup, like, I branded that so that's my show in a way, because nobody else wanted to do it, which is fine. But it's hard with a one-woman show. But yeah, so I kind of just did that myself. And even now I'm kind of just fishing stories and finding ways to talk about things that interest me, that I think will interest other people, that are worth telling. And even things that like aren't covered as much, that I feel like need coverage. Yeah. I'll do that. So yeah. Awesome. And then I needed a logo, and I didn't know how to make logos. I don't know how to do logos. So I just gave that task to my boyfriend and he just figured it out for me.
Fair.
So
you need do you use Canva?
I do.
Okay, that's like how I've been like, okay, I've never been a Photoshop person because that's Premiere and After Effects and all the things we need to learn how to use in school. I had to literally sit and teach myself how to use it for like hours. And I've never been able to figure out Photoshop
After Effects is just a whole
that it's ballpark. Like if I get lucky. I get something out of After Effects.
Even with the YouTube like tutorials and everything. Good luck.
Yeah. Good luck. Because mine always looks different than the person's computer in the YouTube video. And I'm like, what is going on? But Canva like saved my life, I feel like, with graphics and things like that.
No, even now, so I created that like, I want to say sophomore year where I kind of started branding myself. But I didn't know of Canva and whatever. But now, especially with like, they have Canva like AI or something.
Oh,
that's like open AI for Canva. I mean, that's a lifesaver. Like I've done a lot of things with that. So, I mean, if it's a resource, might as well just use it.
It's the best. Okay, I want to pivot. Let's talk about, you grew up playing sports. Tell me a little bit how that really, what sports did you play? You played volleyball, right?
Yes. So I played volleyball competitively for 12, 11, around that time years.
Yeah.
And that was my favorite sport. I did everything revolving volleyball. I did the summer camp, the club volleyball, school, whatever, you name it. I did it.
Yeah.
I was a setter. So, I was not tall enough to be a hitter.
Yeah.
And not even that I wasn't tall enough. I have no hops whatsoever. So that just wasn't in the cards
this is my
for
position.
me.
Yes.
And listen, if I know I'm not good at something, not going to force it.
Yeah.
If I know I'm good at something, gonna utilize it. So I was a setter my whole life, which setter, right side, but setter was my go-to, and I loved it. I was captain, and I actually was voted MVP.
Oh my
senior
gosh.
year, which is,
look at you.
It's like a little inside joke me and my friend have, because I also did theater. So
same.
Yeah, so I did like musicals and everything. Yeah. But my first role was like when I was like 7 or something. I'm not sure. It's The Noble Narble, in The Noble Narble, which was a musical that I did outside of school. And that was like the lead role that I got. And then ever since then, I got leads, but they weren't the lead.
Yes.
Like in Beauty and the Beast in 8th grade, I was Miss Potts, but I wasn't Belle.
But you weren't Belle. Yeah.
But I had the song Beauty and the Beast, but I wasn't Belle.
Right.
In Annie, my senior year of high school, I was Miss Hannigan, which is a lead, but I wasn't.
But you weren't Annie. Yeah.
So it was like an ongoing joke that me and my best friend had. That was like, oh, you're always like, I was always second place. Yes. Like it was like I was there, but like just not first.
Yeah.
And it was right there, but not quite. I wasn't
not quite there
I was
yet.
Not quite there.
Yes.
Which honestly, like I know that every role that I was in, I was put in for a reason, whatever.
Yes.
But it was just a joke at the time. And then she played volleyball with me. She was also a setter. And then at our banquet, when I was voted MVP, she was like, "You're finally first."
No, you finally are first place.
And it was just the funniest thing ever. So every time I bring a volleyball, I have to put that in there because it was my one time.
This was your one thing that you got.
This is the one.
Yes. Okay. Do you know what? Take that, and that is like your thing. And by the way, it is so impressive getting roles like Miss Hannigan and Annie and Miss Potts.
I know.
Like that is like, that's like prime.
I know.
So yes.
I know. I had all the good songs. I had all of the good lines.
But then it's like, you were like, what did I do to miss that one mark? It's like I was
you're
so
in 8th
close.
grade, so like, obviously your seniority, so that you get the leads, or even as a senior, okay, like you get the lead.
Yeah.
I just didn't. And it was fine because I knew that like I was put in that role for a reason. But regardless, it was just some little funny joke we had. So back to my sports era. So volleyball was my thing.
Okay.
And I just knew that I didn't want to take it to that collegiate level because I took it seriously in high school, but I knew that that was it for me because I didn't want to pursue it in college. But I still wanted to be in that realm. But other than volleyball, I want to say, oh God, let's see what we did in high school. I did basketball my sophomore year, but then I broke my tailbone, so then I stopped playing basketball.
Ow.
Yeah.
Wait, that is like the worst injury ever.
I know. It was really bad, actually. But then I had like a lower back fracture. I don't know. I had some problems. But stopped playing basketball, and then I also did track and field.
Okay.
She's not a runner. She is not a track star, but I could
you
throw.
did it. Oh,
so
you did.
I did the shot put, the discus, which I did in middle school.
Okay.
I played soccer in middle school as well. That didn't go in high school. Just did not pursue that because in spring I did softball for 3 years. And then my senior year, I switched to lacrosse because my sister was doing lacrosse.
Fun.
And I wish I did lacrosse more because it was really fun.
That was like one sport. So I could be totally wrong about this. They either brought our lacrosse team on my senior year or it started becoming like a thing my senior year. And all my friends played lacrosse without knowing how to play lacrosse.
Yeah.
But I've like grown up, especially from like ages like 8 to maybe like 14. I was like I was not an athlete, just very unathletic, like not a natural athlete whatsoever. So I had this like thing. I was like, oh, I can't play a sport. Like I'm bad at that. But I kind of regret it. Like I wish I tried it because everyone else was learning how to play. So that was like the one sport that I feel like I would have tried.
Yes.
If there was something.
And I wish you did because it was really fun.
Was it fun?
It was.
Man, I missed out.
I know. Even I wish I did it. I wish I did it for more than 1 year, but it was fine. So I did lacrosse, and then during COVID, volleyball season was in, I want to say the spring. It was like a weird time because the masks restrictions were different or whatever. Yeah. So tennis was the fall sport at the time, which was also a fall sport in general, but that was like the fall sport now. Okay. So I was like,
did you play tennis?
Yeah, I did. Yes. I did tennis.
Tennis is fun.
I wish I was better at it. I'm good. I'm not the best.
Yeah.
But, I can swing a racket and I could get, some volleys in, but I was in doubles, so I had a partner.
Okay.
It was really fun. So I think that's all the sports I did. I definitely probably missed one, but I was never a golfer. I was never really a swimmer.
That's another thing I want to learn.
Golf. Yeah.
That's because everyone just plays golf, I feel like. And I'm like, oh, that's something I need to learn.
Yeah.
That, and then I really like pickleball.
Yeah.
If you liked tennis.
I've never gotten that into it. My sister's into it, and like I heard like the buzz around it, but I never like really tried it. I've been meaning to.
It's kind of like addicting. Like at first you're like, oh wait, I'm not. Like you get like the hang of it
because like the wiffle ball. Like is it?
Yes,
it is.
Yes, and it's easy to hit too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's like,
is it competitive? Because I'm really competitive.
You can be competitive with it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Or you can either do one thing. You can be like really competitive with it, especially if people are all like pretty good.
Yes.
Or you can do it for like shits and gigs.
Okay.
Like
so you can just mess around.
You can just mess around too,
cool,
which I like sometimes because it's like, it depends on the vibe. Like,
yes. Like if it's like, hey, we need to lock in. Team, let's go.
If we're like if we're there to like work out, then yes. But like that's what we did last summer. When I was in Cape Cod for my internship, we'd play pickleball, and it was like we would legitimately play pickleball.
Oh my gosh!
But now that I'm back here, it's like we go for fun. So it's just like it depends on the vibe.
It's versatility. We love it.
Exactly. Very versatile. Okay, so volleyball was like your main sport.
Yes.
How do you think the experiences that you learned from that, being a part of a team, being on a women's team, really shaped what you're doing today and how you're kind of taking the lessons you learned from that experience?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I started when I was like young, right? Like 11, 12 years from high school or senior year, whatever it was. But I was young. I want to say 6 or 7, 8, around that time. I don't know. Math's not really my strong suit.
It's okay. Mine either.
Numbers are not for me.
Yeah, it's why we're in communications. I tell people that all the time. I'm like, guys, this is why I'm not a doctor.
That's why he's an electrical engineer. So he's my numbers guy. He just helps me.
Oh, good.
Because that's not for me. So
yeah.
The English I got, the writing I got, just the numbers are not for me. But anyways, I digress. So, I mean, being on a team was just an amazing experience because you got to learn how to lead, but also lead a team. So I was captain for 3 years. So, 3 years I was captain. So it's taught me a lot because people are looking up to you. And as the setter, which I feel like my position was very important because, I'm dishing out the balls and I'm kind of running the offense. And like I decide where everything is going and I decide, the tempo of the game, and I make the calls because the setter is kind of like the playmaker on the team. It was like, yes, you're a part of a team, but like you are a huge, crucial part of the team. Like people are relying on you. Like, you're the second touch. You're the captain. Like, people are looking at you to make calls and to be there for them, and people trust you. So like that I've kind of just brought with me just to the professional world as well, where it's like, hey, like people are going to lean on you, even if I'm not a leader right now, let's say, in terms of my internship. Like, if anything, I'm like the opposite of the leader, you know, like I'm the little intern that's like looking for guidance and looking for help and looking for that leader, which I have, you know, and I've had a lot of leaders in my life, just in college specifically and what I've wanted to do. So it's very different, but at the same time, it's like I kind of get the best of both worlds, where it's like I've had people that were leaning on me at one point, and now it's like I'm that person who leans on somebody else. And I feel like I kind of have a unique perspective as on the other side of it, because it's like I know what it's like to lead a team, and I know what it's like to give advice and to help people and to do these things, but I have that now. It's like kind of hard to explain, but now I have that different perspective where it's like, yes, I know how the leader feels on their side, where it's like they need to lead me and they need to do this, but it's like I'm still looking for guidance, and I'm still asking questions and trying to be better and trying to do these things where one day, hopefully down the line, I can be that leader again. So it's like, it's kind of a longer thing to explain, but it's a very unique perspective that volleyball has taught me. And then in return, like I loved volleyball so much that my freshman year, oh God, no, it was my senior year of high school, I coached volleyball. So I was a coach for a little bit, and I kind of took that leadership to a whole other level, where it's like at the same time as the captain, like I'm still answering to my coach, and I'm still I was in conversations with her, and you know, we were kind of going through things together. But now as the head coach of like 12-year-olds, which I was the age group that I coached, it's like it's a whole other responsibility, that there's just another layer of leadership that like you need to take on, because now people actually are looking to you, and like it's more than a captain, you know. So it's like that was another experience that just taught me so much, and hopefully I can maybe even get back into coaching a little bit down the line. But so that's kind of like just taken me now into my professional world, where it's like, all right, also don't be afraid to ask questions, don't be afraid to look for guidance and look for that leader, because I was once that leader in a different aspect, but still like the same skills and the same you know, concepts kind of bleed into that as well. So it's very unique to be a part of that. And also I went to an all-girls private high school, so that is like, I know you kind of mentioned like what it's like to be in that team of girls, but like it was a class of 48, so it's very small, you know. So it's like I was around these women who were like trying to, you know, be something and do something, and we always leaned on each other. And obviously, you know, at the end of the day, we're just girls, so like, you know, you're gonna have your little bickering and you're gonna have your little high school drama, but at the end of the day, like we all want what's best for each other. And now that we graduated, like I want to see them all do well, and it's like they want that same thing for me. And it's, even if they're not in sports, or even if they're not in broadcast or journalism, like they're doing their own thing and they're thriving in their own ways. And I even see that now, and like I keep up with their LinkedIn, and like I follow some of them on Instagram, and it's like it's so amazing to see women thrive in especially male dominated fields, because it's not easy. And like I know that firsthand, and I know you know that firsthand. So what a cool perspective to look at things with. And I was gonna say, like, you kind of said that you were like bottom of the totem pole at your internship now, but I feel like there's still ways to kind of show those leadership abilities and show that you're actually like, I'm here, I'm going to build myself up. And that comes with asking questions and like being talkative and almost like exposing like your vulnerability a little bit, because you're like, that almost shows maturity and how much you want to learn and grow. So you're still a leader in your internship. Yes. And I just was like, in some ways, yes, because you're like learning and growing, and like, you know, there's always an intern that might look up to you, or even you can teach other people things, and you're, you know, you have something to bring even though you're just an intern, which I think is important. What was it like kind of you're growing up, you're learning that you really like volleyball, and you're still going to that co-ed middle school and elementary school, but then you're almost like finding your pack of girls in high school. Like, what was that shift like for you? Oh, yeah. Okay. Very easy for me, honestly, because I did grow up with two older brothers. It was never intimidating for me. Like, oh my gosh, like I'm amongst these people, or like I don't have my girls with me. It was always like I always had thicker skin because of my brothers. Like it was not like, oh, I'm the little princess, you know, like I'm the little sister because I'm the youngest. Yes. It was like, grow up. Yeah. toughen up, figure it out, do what you got to do. Don't let like people take advantage of you, guys or girls. Like, be you, do what you got, you know. So it was always like, I was always firm. So I never had an issue of like, you know, being nervous or being like intimidated, because I was always one of the girls, but always kind of one of the guys too, because everyone was just like kind of like a brother to me, because my brothers were always just so rough and tough with me that like I was like, hey, like I could play football, you know, in middle school with the guys, because I grew up playing football with my brothers, and like I could be QB, like I want to throw the ball, like I have a good arm, you know. So and like I did, like that was what my middle school years kind of consisted of. Like I even had like there was like a stupid joke around me because I was like a girl. This is like a Chicago Taylor joke, so you don't get it. But because I was a girl, and maybe when so we played in middle school, and when we would play, I would, you know, the QB gets rushed and like whatever. So, but I never knew how to like scramble. I was always like kind of like an in the pocket girly, just looking to throw the ball. You're like, who do I pass this to? Wide open receiver. Like I could not do the pressure. I just could throw. So I kind of like, there was like this joke that like I was like Jay Cutler, because Jay Cutler is just not the best QB. Like I was no Josh Allen in middle school, but I was Jay Cutler. So like that was my joke. Like that was like my nickname was like Cutler. Someone like named me Cutler so because funny. Like I did want to play and I did like being QB, but I was just not cut out for it. But I still played anyway because I enjoyed playing it and I liked and I wasn't intimidated. But I guess I hope that answers your question, because I kind of just went on a ramble.
Oh my God.
I apologize.
No. I think everyone kind of grows up with a different experience with that, with, oh, you're growing up with guys or you're growing up with brothers in your case. Yeah. Like I didn't have two older brothers growing up. It's me and my sister are the oldest. Then we have a younger brother. Yeah. But still, when we were like 10, 11, 12, we're the oldest. We have to kind of figure it out. Yes, we have absolutely. To like,
and you guys are twins,
and we're twins, like, which is a whole
really
other
experience. Figuring it out together.
Oh yeah, and my sister was an athlete, a better athlete than I was, and then I wasn't, and then it was like, oh, where does my place fall in? Which is funny because I'm the one that works in sports now. But
that's so funny.
It just kind of depends. Like everything just kind of ends up falling into place. Yes. But I want to know. I know we touched on this slightly, but what kind of made you want to take that major of broadcast journalism? Like what really I know you really wanted to pursue sports right away, but why broadcast? Why journalism?
Yeah, so I went into college just as a communications major, so it was just very broad. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but like I said, I knew I wasn't a math girly, and I knew that numbers weren't for me and science wasn't for me, but I knew that I liked writing, so I kind of took that and ran with it with my communications major at first. And then I was like, okay, so like now I'm in college and this is like the second week, and I'm like, what do I like? Because I need to figure it out, because in high school, I didn't really know. Like I wrote for the newspaper and I was the editor-in-chief there, and I was the editor-in-chief for the yearbook, but I didn't have a broadcast. We didn't have a station at my high school.
Oh, we didn't either.
We didn't, you know, so I was like, I was never exposed to that, but I was like, all right, I need to figure it out. So now I'm like 1 week in, 2 weeks in, I'm like, okay, what do I like? And I liked Erin Andrews. So that was like my first step into like sports. I was like, okay, love her. I kind of want to do what she does, but I'm not sure. So like, I'm not going to just go off like one person that I like what they do and then just going to change my whole major. So I was like, okay, what do I like? So I like sports because I played sports. I knew I didn't want to take it to the collegiate level, but I wanted to just stay in that world. Okay, I like sports. Okay, I did theater. I liked being on stage. I knew I was comfortable in front of an audience or a camera. I knew I was comfortable doing that. So how can I tailor that? Okay, I like writing. Great. I like telling people stories. Amazing. So it's like then all of that kind of shaped me into what I wanted to do, which was broadcast journalism.
All your interests kind of shaped broadcast journalism.
It's like literally the more I explain it, it's just like it was the perfect fit, because everything that I liked and everything that I felt that I was good at, I had a place, you know, and my place was broadcast journalism. So I went and I was on Instagram and I'm like scrolling and I'm like a freshman. I'm like, what are these clubs? Like, I don't know what this club is. Like, do I DM them? Like, are they even active? Like, I didn't know. So then I was like, I found the Phoenix, which was the newspaper. Okay. But I was like, I don't know. Like, I like writing, but I'm not huge on print. Yeah. So let me see what other avenues I have. And then I found Rambler Sports Locker and I DM'd them. And they were like, oh, we have a meeting at 4 on Thursday. Be there. And I went there and I literally remember.
Do you go by yourself?
I went by myself.
Okay.
And I was like, I walked in and I'm like, wow, like it was an actual studio. Like,
oh yeah.
Cameras, prompter, lighting,
our school's
set.
studio scared me so much when I first walked in.
But I wasn't scared. I was like,
good for you.
Like,
I was scared.
No, I was like encouraged. I was like inspired. I'm like, wow, like I want to be on set, you know, because I had a little spark, which I forgot to mention, my sophomore year of high school when we took our first trip it was like a field trip to NBC, and I saw them there and I was like, wow, this is awesome. But then I never really thought anything else of it. But then I kind of circled back later on. And I'm like, wow, like, and I literally remember like taking a picture and video of the studio because both of my brothers went to Loyola, but they were never in this world. No one in my family was ever in this world. So I was kind of just like so in shock with everything. And like looking at it now, it's like, okay, Vanessa, like it's a prompter. But like me as a freshman, I was like, oh my God, a teleprompter. Like I want to use that. Like I want to try it. I want to do this. I want to be on set. So literally the next day I was an anchor for the show. And ever since then, I like knew that this is what I wanted to do. After I anchored, I changed my major and I just like locked in on it. And like I said, sports obviously was that first road that I took, but then I started opening up to general news and whatever. And then I knew that I liked sports, but I liked more of the human interest side of sports. Like I love, you know, the highlights and, you know, talking about the game, but I more so loved an athlete who, you know, for example, overcame adversity, or someone who has just like an amazing story, or like someone who did something so great and like look where they are now. Like that is something that I was more interested in than just highlights or just, you know, talking about the game. That was something that I liked. So I was like, okay, how do I do this? So then I created my own little segment on RSL, Rambler Sports Locker, which is called New Blurs on the Block. Kind of like kind of tailoring on obviously New Kids on the Block.
I was a
freshman, so I was like, I want to do a segment, but I don't want to step on anyone's toes because I was also intimidated. Don't get that wrong. Like, although I was inspired and excited, like I was very intimidated by the seniors. But even though I love them and like I'm still in contact with my old executive producer, but I was like, I want to do something that's like for me. And so I was just like kind of running through ideas, and then that's when I came up with New Blurs on the Block, where I would talk about rookie athletes at Loyola because I was a rookie. So like I kind of took that and was like, hey, I'm a freshman.
Yeah.
Let me do something that's around freshmen or transfer students or someone that just has like, you know, a good story or a good play or something, you know, just something that I could do that was mine, and then I could have like this reoccurring segment. And it didn't have to be just like sports or like highlights. Sorry. It could be like, you know, this rookie is from XYZ, they came here, they're playing XYZ sport, you know what I mean? So it was something that I could tailor a little bit of more human interest, but also use my unique experience as a rookie or a freshman and still kind of contribute to the program as a whole. So that was kind of my story.
Oh my gosh. We're like somewhat similar. However,
I know, I feel like we are.
It's so funny you're talking like this is so funny because I came in as I think I was like media management. I was like a really random media major that I thought made sense, and I couldn't even tell you what I thought I wanted to do when I committed to Indiana. Like I think it was like I was interested in entertainment, which is funny because this past couple of months I got to dabble in that, but that never was a thing.
Yeah, it's like you don't know what you're like. Even me, I'm like, what do I want to do with communications? I have no clue.
Oh yeah, well, because I came in knowing I liked theater. I did speech and debate in high school, so I knew I liked talking.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, the broadcast path is probably was right for me.
Yeah.
And then one thing led to another. I happened to run into the dean of the media school who kind of specialized in our sports media program. That just happened to be the person that I ended up talking to.
Great.
And then all of a sudden the next day I was like on the women's soccer beat. I didn't play soccer in high school. My sister played soccer, so I knew the rules.
Yeah.
But it was like I had zero actual like raw interest in doing that at first. Like I did not know that was something I was going to do. So I totally got thrown into it. And then the second I did it, I was like, wait, this is so fun.
Yes.
And then I went to our version of your guys' like studio setup. And I went to our like TV club's first meeting. And then I think I anchored like probably a week later. And I was like, oh, okay, this is how the teleprompter works. This is how the mic works. And then it's just kind of, you're like, okay. And then you keep doing it and you keep doing it and you keep doing it. And then you actually end up realizing like, oh, okay, I want a sideline report. So then I was able to sideline report start my sophomore year. And that's kind of, that was
awesome.
my aha moment. I was like, okay, this is actually what I want to do. Yeah. Did you have a moment like that, especially with New Blurbs on the Block, or a certain event that you covered where you were like, oh, this is something that I want to continue to pursue?
I want to say like for me, honestly, I'm going to be totally transparent. Like, it might have actually been the first time that I anchored that I was like,
that's awesome.
This is what I want to do. But I've definitely had more aha moments, especially my freshman year. I want to say when I reported on, I think the first sport I reported on was women's volleyball because it was in the fall. So like that had to have been the first sport. But I'm not too entirely sure. But then my first big game was the men's basketball game at UIC. So that was like the first time I like got an outside credential, and like it was me and a senior that went, and like I got to be the reporter. We kind of like, we both were in a way, but like I was, on the sideline, and that's where I met the head coach, Drew Valentine, for the first time. And like it was just like so surreal. And it's so funny because that day I was like so sick. Like I don't know what happened. Literally mid game, I kid you not, I was like, I'm going to hurl. It was so bad. No. And I was like, and I was so sad more so because I'm like, are you kidding me? Like this is my one breakthrough moment. And because it was, you just tough it out.
Oh yeah. Girl, you stand there and you're like,
I stood in the oh yeah. Yep. I stood afterwards in the media. I was with the media personnel, and I was, with the press, and I'm pale in the face, totally sick.
Yep.
Talking to the coaches like, hey, tell me about that performance. But I feel so terrible. But I'm like, I don't know when I'm going to get this opportunity again. I'm not leaving. I'm not going to go. I just need to thug it out. And that's kind of what I did, which was so funny. It's like, I don't really tell people that moment because it's so irrelevant. But like, that's also a testament to like, I was willing to do literally whatever it took to be in that environment, whether I was sick, healthy, sad, happy. Like I was there and I was ready to perform and I was ready to be there. Yeah. So that was probably one of my aha moments. And then also my freshman year, I got the gig. I don't even remember how I got this. Like I find I like do these little things that like I don't even know where or when I got it, but somehow I did. Yeah. So it was my freshman year, and I was the sideline reporter and in-game host for this like hockey league. It was called the Chicago Cougars. Okay. And they play at Fifth Third Arena where the Blackhawks practice. And I was their sideline reporter. So like I would interview the players mid-game or like at the end of the game. And that was like, I was in an actual arena. And kind of the same thing like you, like I didn't know anything about hockey. Like literally not one thing.
The stories I could tell you, but keep going. But
I didn't know anything. And I literally remember like after I got it, it was like, hockey's for dummies, hockey's 101. And it's so funny because I was actually listening to Erin Andrews' podcast, and I think hockey might have been her first sport, or she didn't know about it.
The Lightning, I think.
Yes, and it was literally like, it was like me. I felt like it was me. I was like, oh my God, is this me? So
she's so me. That's
So one day I'll be like Erin Andrews. But until then, it was so funny. And then that was like my first kind of big girl experience where I was like outside of school. Yeah. Where I was like, wow, like this is cool. So that was probably another one of my aha moments.
Also, just like the preparation that you're able to put into things like that also shows how dedicated you are. Yeah. Like I had a similar moment where my first time sidelining was because we do it differently where we work with Big Ten Student U. Okay. So they basically assign us to different sports and games that happen at Indiana. So we apply, we get on, and then they assign us to like, oh, you could be doing in the fall, like you could be doing a men's soccer game, or you could be doing like a women's volleyball game, or all the other fall sports. Mm-hmm. And my first one that I did was women's soccer, which I was comfortable with because I covered them before. But my second one wasn't until November, and wrestling season started.
Oh gosh.
And I had to cover wrestling. And I was like, I genuinely, and this was like my second time doing this ever. I had no clue anything about wrestling, and I was freaking out because I knew how to prep, I knew how to prepare myself, but I didn't do something so unfamiliar like that yet. And I ended up I think I watched like a million YouTube videos. I ended up going to maybe one or two of their practices to watch. And again, I was like literally the only girl in the room, and I had to stand. They practice in like the basement of our in our basketball arena, and it's like the whole floor is a mat. So I had to stand in like the corner with my back like glued to the wall watching these guys like tackle each other.
I can't even imagine. Wrestling is probably like a whole different world. I know.
And I was so uncomfortable, but it was worth it because I got to talk to the coach and then get quotes for hits.
Yes.
So it was like
oh, that's so great.
Right. It kind of meant a lot. And then I did the broadcast. It went totally awesome. And then I did a second one. So you just never know when you're covering a new sport for the first time, like what could come from that. Yes. And now if I were to get put on a wrestling
you would know exactly. I'd be like,
oh, that's fine.
I'm a pro. Yeah.
Yes. You're like, oh, this is my thing. Like I got this. Okay. Tell me a little bit about where you kind of built yourself up. So you had those opportunities as a freshman. Now you're a sophomore. Now you just finished your junior year. What were some standout opportunities that Loyola's really given you?
The main opportunity that I think is like the biggest standout would be when I got to travel to Brooklyn, New York to cover the men's basketball championship, because I think this was their first time. It was in the Barclays Center, and I think this was right when I want to say they were out of the Valley, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
But this was their first time. Yeah, I think it was their first time in the A10, but I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that. But regardless, it was a huge experience for me because I was a freshman, and I know that like there were seniors waiting to get that opportunity to be a reporter, because there was only 4 people that could go to cover the story, because you know the club can't fly everyone out because it's a club at the end of the day, and you know we don't have that type of budget, and we don't have enough media passes. So you know, obviously it was limited. So it was the executive producer, the technical producer, and then 2 other reporters, or just 2 other people on Rambler Sports Locker. And I like made it my mission to be one of the ones on that got to go. So, So I went, not because just of this position, but because I liked it, but I wasn't there every week. I came up with new ideas, which is exactly what the EP wanted at the time. Again, I did this because I wanted it, but in return, I knew that it would get me a good opportunity that I also wanted. So if I want that opportunity, I'm going to need to put my best foot forward, because at the end of the day, I'm a freshman. So they have no obligation to take me. They could choose a senior. They could choose someone who's graduating to take them. And you know, I felt for the seniors that didn't get to go, because it was so amazing.
Yeah.
But I was so blessed to be able to go, and I knew that I needed to do the best job I could because they chose me to go.
Yeah.
So that was definitely one of my standout moments, because it was my first time in another huge arena like the Barclays Center. So that was so surreal. And then I went again the next year. So it was amazing. So,
I love it. I love when, like, I don't know, there's just like certain things that I feel like both of us have probably experienced that we've gotten to experience in our like budding careers, and it's like, this is like, you almost like see the future. You're like, this is so perfect.
I know, and that's why like even when you asked me to be on this podcast, I was like, we're like the same age. Like I don't really have any, you know, outstanding experiences. Like I feel like you and I are just very similar, but that's why I thought it would be fun, because we kind of just like get to talk and like relate.
Exactly. That's like why I asked, because I was like, wait, it'd be cool. It'd be fun. Yeah.
So, and also like, you know, I wish I had someone to tell me more things my freshman year too, because I didn't know anyone that was in this industry. So maybe this will help.
Yes, exactly. I know. I want like incoming freshmen to find this, or even like sophomores and juniors. And because I also I met girls when I was a freshman that were sophomores, juniors, seniors, but I didn't have necessarily anyone that was more of a mentor to me as a student. So I feel like something like this is nice. Yeah,
for sure.
What are I want to pivot just a little bit. What are some challenges that you faced being a woman in the industry, just in sports media in general? Because it is a male dominated industry at the end of the day. And I think we do go through a little bit of hurdles and road bumps. And what's something that you've experienced that you think has really made an impact on where you are today and how you kind of view the industry and yourself as a reporter?
Well, I'd be lying if I said that it wasn't tough at times.
Yeah.
And I definitely have had times where I was discouraged or I felt like I didn't want to do it anymore because I was just a woman who, listen, at the end of the day, like, it's hard to be on camera in front of people that are, you know, majority men who watch sports. I'm gonna be honest. Like, yes, women watch sports too. I watch sports. I'm a woman, but let's be real. Like, it is a male-dominated industry. The reporters, you know, even though there is, I feel like, a shift going more toward women, but at the time, and, you know, even now, like, even though there is that shift, like, it is still dominated in that way. So it was hard because it was like, okay, so how do I get people, men and women, to listen to me without looking at me, you know? Like, at the end of the day, like, I'm not saying this to be, like, stuck up or anything. Like, I know I'm a pretty girl. Like, I'm not gonna, you know, like, you're beautiful. Like, I know I'm not, you know, I know I have a certain look to me, or
exactly.
like I know that, like, okay, I'm a little pretty, like, people maybe look at me and they only see me but they don't hear me, so it's like, okay, how do I get people to hear me and not just see me, because I don't just want to be on camera, you know, because if I wanted to do that, I would go into modeling or I would go into pageants or something, you know, where that's crucial, like, that's key, like, people look at you and that's what they judge you off of. But now I'm on camera and I'm reporting, and it's like, I have no choice but to be, you know, the center of attention, for lack of better words. So it was hard because that was not necessarily what I wanted. Like, I don't really care if someone thinks I'm beautiful or not. Like, I just want people to kind of hear me and hear stories. So, like, that's why also with sports, I don't feel like I could ever go into, like, being an analyst or something, because those poor people, I mean, the people have a lot to say, or just, like, commentators, like, people have a lot to say about opinions and stuff, and people get really riled up, and, like, honestly, that's just not for me. It's not
for me either. It was never my niche.
Kudos to the people that it is, but, like, I could never deal with that, because I just probably could never deal with that backlash, or just, like, the controversy. I was never for controversy, like, which is even why I'm not, like, that into politics, because I'm just not for that world. But
same.
Yeah, so that was, like, my biggest challenge, and even now, like, it still is, because I don't know, it's a very fine line, especially, like, within my faith. Like, how do I navigate an industry where I need to be seen? And at the end of the day, like, as a reporter, whether you like it or not, like, you need to have a certain look to you. Like, if you're, and I'm not saying, like, I'm the most beautiful girl in the world, or, like, I'm this, like, that's not what I'm saying at all. But, like, I know I'm put together. Like, I know that, like, I'm going to make sure my makeup's on. I'm going to make sure my outfit's good. And I'm going to make sure, like, I'm put together. And, like, I have a certain presence to me, because I need to. Because at the end of the day, a producer or something is not going to hire someone who reports in a sweatshirt. Like, that's just not how it's going to be. Like, you need to be professional. You need to be put together. Like, so there is that certain aspect to it. And, like, I'm just telling you how it is. Like, I'm just being upfront. Like, I'm not going to, like, sugarcoat it and be like, no, like, that never happens. Like,
no, like, you can look like, you know, there's a certain look.
There's a certain
we all know.
look. Like, let's just be real fierce in the field. Like, let's just keep it real for a second. And that's what I'm doing. Like, I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm not an idiot. Like, I know what's going on. So it's like, how do I navigate that in a way where it's like, that's not the first thing people see. That's not, you know, and it's still an issue that I deal with, and, like, it's still something that I'm not comfortable with, and it's something that I'm, you know, learning to get comfortable with, but which it's honestly a reason why I started to look into radio a lot, which is why I like being at ESPN, because obviously it's radio. But, you know, we do have a stream, we do have, like, that camera aspect, but at the end of the day, like, I did look into radio, and I still am, and, like, that's still an avenue that, like, I'm exploring, because, hey, like, it's nice to kind of just be behind the scenes, but like, still say a story, or, like, tell the news, but just behind, you know, without a camera in front of you. And, like, that was something that I am and I still am interested in now, which I'm looking into. But it's hard. Like, it's kind of annoying. Like, I don't that. Like, I don't want that to be what people look at me for, because if I wanted that, I would have done I would have been in a different field. Like, I would have done something else, and it's just not what I like. So that was definitely the most challenging thing, for sure.
It's funny. I made the same comment to someone the other day, because I was like, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, she just wants to be on camera, or she just wants to be on TV. And I was like, I would still be acting if I wanted to still be on TV. Because but like basically went into college with not a very successful one, but with an aspiration to continue to do theater and continue to act. And then I found broadcast journalism, but more specifically sports broadcasting. I was like, I like that better. Like, I like what I'm doing here. And there's a reason why I'm choosing to tell stories, and I'm choosing to interview people and talk about sports and talk about specific sports and specific topics in sports. I'm not talking about myself, you know, like I'm not trying to.
Because if we wanted to, we would have done something else.
Exactly.
Let's just be real.
I was in an Uber, and I don't remember when this was. I think it was maybe about a year ago. I know I was here in Chicago, and it was one of those Uber drivers that was like super chatty. And I was in the Uber by myself, which is fine. I Uber all the time. And he wasn't a mean guy, but he was like, oh, so are you in school? Are you in college? And I'm like, yeah, like I go to Indiana, but I'm from here, so I'm home right now. And he's like, oh, what are you studying? And I was like, sports broadcasting. And he was like, oh, what do you want to do with that? And I was like, oh, well, I do sideline reporting. Like, I'm trying to be a sideline reporter. And he looks in like the rear view mirror and like looks at my face like through the rear view mirror. He goes, oh, okay, I guess I can kind of see it. Huh. And I went, thank you for that. The weirdest experience ever. And I was like, first of all, I wasn't going anywhere. I was probably coming back from a workout. Like,
first of all, sir, I was not like, saying this so you could give me your opinion.
Give me your opinion on
because
how I
look. Quite frankly, don't care for it. Because if I cared, I would have asked you for it. You asked me, and then you gave me that stupid comment. So now you're gonna have to pull over, and I'm just to get out of
your car, and you're not gonna get a tip from me either because
forget the tip.
It was just so odd, and I've been told the opposite too. I've been like, oh, you look straight out of Central Casting. My dad tells me that, and I'm like, you need to stop saying that. But I've gotten like the opposite comments, but it's just so odd where if I say something like, oh, I want to be a reporter, or I want to be a sideline reporter, or I'm trying to be an anchor, and then if I'm a woman on top of it, they look at your face and they look at your look, and they're like, oh,
for sure,
yeah, you could do that.
Whereas I see it.
Yes.
You're made for the camera.
Oh, I see it totally. Where if it's a guy, people would kind of just be like, oh, okay, cool, and shrug it off and not think about how they look. So it's just, it's one of those things that's like, it's probably not going to be over. Like, it's probably something we do have to deal with
forever.
And
I don't know how, the men have that experience. I'm not a guy, so I don't know if maybe they look at looks too. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But we can obviously just speak on ourselves to be like, like we see that, so.
Yes.
Yeah. It's tough out in these waters.
How have you been able to handle social media? Because I feel like we've all gotten, I don't know if you post on X, but that is brutal good.
I don't have an X.
Yeah. But
I had one and then it got hacked. So if you see my X, it's not me.
It's not you. It's someone else.
Me. Let me just put that out there. I do not have an X. I don't post on it, which I feel like I should because people always, I see reporters using it a lot.
I don't use it often. I actually should use it more, but I do not.
No, I don't.
So, yeah.
I mean, social media is, again, just another avenue that like we still need to try to get accustomed to because, there's so much to learn about it and there's like so many ways to like beat the algorithm or do well on social media or do numbers, and like I feel like maybe some people have it figured out. I for sure as hell don't. So I don't know. I can't really give my best advice, but I have like, my own private Instagram, like for my close friends and my family, but then I have, one where I post mostly about my career and stuff, and obviously like my stories that I do and whatnot and new things that are happening, or if I do like a collaboration or it's with the White Sox or NASCAR, like I'll post that there, for views and I'm hoping that that's what people are following me for. But that's where I'll do that. And then I have obviously TikTok and stuff, but see, like, I don't know, like I like posting more fun things on TikTok. Like I don't really do sports things, which I probably should. Like, I feel like maybe even not sports, but just like news in general. Like I feel like I've seen so many news reporters doing like hits and stuff and like telling stories on social media, like on TikTok, and it does well. So I feel like I should probably get into that, and I've been hearing that that's kind of where the industry is shifting to. So trying to like learn how to do that, but I'm just kind of doing my best. Honestly,
we are, and I've tried to act like I have the social media thing figured out, but like,
oh no, I don't.
I definitely
don't even try to act. I don't.
No, I don't post on X at all. I don't post on TikTok. I've tried to do the TikTok thing. I've tried to do the influencer thing.
Okay.
And that's not worked out.
Yeah, I've tried to do that too.
I'm like, no one's going to watch my day in the life. No one cares.
I would watch it.
Oh my God, thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. But I'm like, this is so silly. But now I'm trying to shift. Like, I like that you have like your reporting Instagram, your TV Instagram, and then your personal Instagram.
Yes, yeah.
Because I have one that called Josie Reports, but then I still utilize my personal Instagram as I still post like some of my like stand-ups or my hits or my reels on there. So it's like I need either pick one or the other or merge it into one. So it's kind of tricky. And I think there's probably no right answer.
Yeah. I mean, so did you start your professional one after your personal one? Is that kind of how it is?
Yes. Yeah.
And let me guess, it's hard to get followers.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Girl, I know.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, I mean, what I did, I had my personal Instagram and I had already followers on there and stuff. Mm-hmm. So what I did was I just took my personal one, archived I was private before, and then I just archived all my photos, revamped my bio, my name, everything, made that one into my public one just because I already had a certain amount of following and whatever. And then I just created another private one that was just for me. So maybe that could help.
That's that's actually really interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just depends on what you want to do. And then you have to deal with like even people that and not necessarily close friends, but like, oh, what's she trying to do? Like she's trying to be all that. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I am, because I'm trying to make a name for myself.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And that's, oh my gosh, I literally had to deal with this too because like it was my personal, I had to like unfollow so many people because at the end of the day, like there is a certain level of professionalism that I need to uphold if I have a professional Instagram, so I can't be following 1,000 people that like I met once, you know what I mean? Or like that I barely talk to or I just follow. So it was like I like did a whole cleanse where it was like I just wanted to follow people that were in the industry because I wanted that to be on my feed. Like I literally wanted to tailor my whole Instagram, like do a whole 180 so that everything that I did was around, what I was doing, like whether it was sports, whether it was news, anything. Like that's what I wanted to do. So I unfollowed a lot of people. And then I like obviously like my bestest friends or like my closest friends, or, like my family, I kept following because whatever. But I like kind of removed a lot of people, and so many people were like hurt by it. And I was like, guys, like it's really nothing personal.
They
like,
could also follow your new account.
It's for exactly. But also at the end of the day, like it's just an Instagram follow.
It's not that big of a deal. No.
It's really not. Like I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. We don't have a beef. I don't hate you. We're not fighting. It's just like I wanted to just do a whole 180 and like, hey, I have a personal one.
Yeah.
Everyone's open to follow that if they really want to. But like that's like I also had to deal with a lot of backlash there. So you might have to deal with that too. I'm just fair warning you because people think like I had some type of animosity or like, oh wow, look at her. She thinks now that she has a following like that she could just unfollow everyone. And it's like, okay, dude, really, it's not that deep. Like it's just an Instagram follow. Like yes, I'm trying to do something. I'm trying to make it work. Like whether you see that for me and you support me and you follow me, or you just unfollow me because quite frankly I don't really care, because I will move on anyway because the life goes on and the world's still spinning. So
people hate to see other people succeed.
Oh yeah.
So
sure.
And it's something you have to learn. So
and people probably get cringed out, or people probably this, and like to that I just don't simply care. So
no, because who supports you and who's
exactly,
which is the important thing.
Exactly.
So okay, I want to kind of shift a little bit. How you've grown up in Chicago your whole life. Mm-hmm. How do you think your experiences and life in Chicago has shaped your aspect as a reporter? Because you're still reporting in Chicago, and how has Chicago kind of helped have that influence on you and kind of been that inspiration? Because you're in my opinion, I think the best city. Yes. Yeah.
In my opinion too, but
good. Yeah.
It has been amazing because Chicago was like my backyard. Like I didn't grow up in the city, but I was 5 minutes out of it. Right. So it was like I had both that suburban experience, but also the Chicago experience. Like I was here every weekend, or I was on Michigan Ave or in Millennium Park. Like I just had that at my disposal. Like it was just my home. Like Chicago was simply my home. And like, I can't imagine not growing up in Chicago because like it's so weird to me. Like it's just like this booming city is like my backyard, you know? So it was so easy to just get adjusted and to just like be able to go, you know, anywhere and just like walk places. Like obviously I go to school in the Gold Coast, so like that's probably where I'm more familiar.
Oh,
but
is
like,
that where your campus is now?
Yes.
Because there's one in Rogers Park, right? Okay.
I go to both, but the School of Com is in the Gold Coast. So that's obviously where I'm familiar most because I go to school there. But, you know, like I know a lot of the other areas and like whatever. It's easy for me to find stories. But I must say the downside to all of that is like I want to stay in Chicago. And you hear all these people saying like, you know, Chicago's so great because you have so many opportunities and so many, you know, for internships. Like even when I wanted to go to Loyola, they're like, you're in the middle of the city. Like it's so easy. Girl, it is not easy. No. If anything, it is actually more difficult to get an internship here. Like, yes, there are opportunities, but the good ones and the ones that everyone wants, it's far from easy.
Because everyone's trying to come to Chicago.
Yes. So it's like people, you know what I mean? So it's hard. And also like, I grew up here, so I commute to school. Like, I still live at home. Like, all I know is Chicago. And, like, now as a reporter, especially post-grad, everyone tells you, you know, like, you got to start in a small market. You got to go, and you got to work your way back once you kind of build your way up. And it's like, how do you tell someone who's lived there their whole life to do that?
They have
like,
to leave.
They have to leave. Like, I didn't even leave for college. Like, I didn't go anywhere. Like, I'm still right here, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like,
I feel like you're going backwards.
Yes, that's the hard part because it's like, yes, I grew up in such a booming city and a beautiful city, the best city probably in the U.S., but at the same time, too, I have to leave.
Yeah.
Like, make that make sense, you know? So it's like, I don't know what the future holds, but I would hope that I stay in Chicago or I, you know, I really can't say because I don't know and I don't know where the future is going to take me. Like, I still have a year to kind of figure everything out, but yeah, it's not easy being in an environment that's so competitive and that's so great, but at the same time, you know, so hard to break through.
Yeah, and you have everyone telling you to go to that small market and not come to Chicago right after graduation, which is like, what in the world do you mean?
Yes, I know.
It's the worst, but I want to kind of talk about your Emmy nomination and awards, which is so cool.
Yay.
Okay, you were nominated for 2 Emmy Crystal Pillar Awards, correct?
So the student Emmys.
Student Emmys, yes. Tell me about that experience. What were you nominated for?
Okay. Yes, it was so amazing. So it was the summer of sophomore year.
Okay.
And I actually went with, so my sophomore year, like the fall of sophomore year, I went with my closest friend that I had in college. She was a year older than, 2 years older. Yeah. She was a senior. I was a sophomore.
Okay.
Right?
Also in journalism?
Yeah. I'm like tweaking. Whatever. My closest friend in college. I went with my closest friend in college to her nomination because she was nominated for a Crystal Pillar. She was an MMJ, as a multimedia journalism major as well. And so I went with her just to support her because I didn't even know what it was, but she had asked me to go with her. And I was like, yes, girl, I'll come with you and support you because I want to see you do good always. And she's thriving. So I'm really happy for her now. Yeah. But yeah, so I went with her and I'm like, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, wow, like I really want to I want to try. Like I want to see if I'll get nominated and I want to try. Like I feel like I have what it takes and I want to put a good reel together, you know, by real, I mean like I want to tell stories and do things that like will nominate me one day. So that's what I did my sophomore year. I was like dedicated to just telling good stories for school and for like my personal brand, but also like with that in the back of my mind where it's like, hey, like they have this certain expectation. How do I meet that? You know, how do I meet that standard? How do I one day get nominated? So I was just like going full force my sophomore year and like just doing everything I could. And then my the summer of my sophomore year, going into my junior year, I got a text from my professor, Lee Hood. She actually passed away this last fall.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was really unexpected. And I was actually taking her class when it happened. So it was very just like,
it was
so gray
hard.
and like so everything was just so confusing and it was very hard. But she had texted me and was like, hey, Vanessa, 'cause she was always a mentor for me. And she was like, and she helped my other friend get her Emmy or get nominated. And she was like, hey, Vanessa, like, I know you were a part of, because I took a class that was like a TV magazine class. So it was like a talk show class, which was called Connect. So basically talking about how the world connects without connecting. Because it was in that, it's still, we kind of still are, but it was in the heat, like, right, you know, when COVID was kind of starting to like officially be gone and like, but yet people were still like on their phones and like, whether it was Zoom meetings or like ordering online or just like always being on their phone, like that's kind of what it was tailored around, connected but not connecting. So that was the show, which she was like, I want to nominate your class for this. Can you send me, because I was the anchor for that show. So she's like, can you send me the show? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then she's like, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, why don't we just submit a talent reel for you? And I was like, even better. Yes. Like, let's do it. So I was like, I don't know if it's good enough yet, but like, here's what I have. Like, I put like a reel together for like when if I apply to an internship or something, or I have a reel, this is what I have. And she kind of like walked me through it, like held my hand through the whole way. And I was like, let's just see where it goes. And then a couple months later, she had texted me and said that I got nominated for two categories, which was the magazine category and the talent category. And it was like, again, that feeling of just like everything just coming together. Thank God. So it was like, so amazing. And then I was like, all right, like, what do we do next? Like, what do I do? And she's like, well, now you just need to wait for the ceremony and whatever. So the ceremony was then in November of my junior year. So this past year. And I went, obviously my boyfriend was in town then as well, so he was there for me, and we got nominated and we won the magazine category, and then I was the runner-up for the talent because there was only 2 nominees, so it was me and some other guy who ended up winning. But again, like, you know what they say, it was an honor to be nominated, so I'm not complaining, and it was just so amazing. And it felt like, you know, again, you get to see the fruits of your labor and you get to see everything that you worked for come to life in like at a bigger scale, you know, because I'm in a room with Cheryl Scott and, you know, Stephanie Wade from ABC7. Like, these are the people, you know, like Matt Rodriguez from NBC5. Like, I'm literally in the room with them. You know, like Courtney Hall is literally at the other table, you know, like, this is amazing. And even though I'm a student and it's just on that level, I just can't wait to see what the future holds. Then that one day I can be like them, you know?
That's so awesome. Oh, I feel like, what do you, I'm going to read this question really quick so I can, how do these accomplishments really motivate you moving forward, especially being in the same room as people like Cheryl Scott, or working with your professor who was such a mentor to you? How do you kind of move forward with that and kind of think, okay, I'm going to take all of these accomplishments and use them to my advantage and do even more?
Well, I'm really huge on, like, when I see the progress, it motivates me even more. Like, whether it's in the gym or like at the time when it was with volleyball or getting an internship, like, when I see me do well and when I see things actually panning out, I just get more motivated. Like, I know some people are kind of like content with where they're at, and it's like, wow, I won a Crystal Pillar Award, I'm good forever. Like, that's just not me. Like, yes, I am proud of myself, and yes, I am, you know, proud of what I've done and what I've done up until now, but like, I always have that hunger for like wanting more, because I think that's just kind of how I was raised. Like, my brothers and like my uncle and my dad, they were always the biggest motivators, and like my mom was always just there for me. She was always just happy for me. But like, the guys in my life, like my brothers and my dad and my uncle, they were always like, all right, like, what's next? You know, like, you did that, what's next? Like, literally my dad asked me the other day, he's like, okay, so what are you doing now? Like, what's next? And I'm like, I don't know.
That's the exact same way my dad is. He's like, so when are you doing this? When are you doing that?
And I'm like, well, I just started my internship, so like one thing at a time. But it's like, it's all in good faith, and like it's because they want me to succeed and excel. So like, I think that also just like rubs off on me, where it's like, that's just my same mentality where it's just like go, go, go.
Yeah.
And it's like, even though I did this and like I'm glad I did that, like what's next, you know?
Yeah.
Because I'm still not where I want to be. So like this for me is like I needed to do this. Like it wasn't like, oh my God, I did it. Like no, like this needed to get done in order to be where I want to be in the future, which is hopefully, God willing, you know, on Channel 7 or like Channel 5 or, you know, like in places like that, because that's where I see myself. And I need to do whatever it takes to be the best of the best where I am now, so that when the time comes post grad or in a couple years from now, like I'm ready to go. And like they see what I've done, and they saw, like the producers and stuff, they saw that I wasn't content with where I was, you know? So it just motivates me even further, honestly, in like the best way possible. Yeah,
no, I love it. Kind of starting to wrap things up a little bit. Where do you see yourself after you graduate? Where do you see yourself, and what's the dream destination for you?
Oh gosh, that's the $1 million question that everyone asks. I know you know it, girl, but I mean, I don't know. So as of right now, like, yes, I'm in sports, and like I like reporting in sports, and obviously I'm an intern at ESPN, like one of my dreams, you know, but I don't know if that's where I see myself like 10 years from now, like being on ESPN as like a commentator, you know. I see myself, you know, dabbling in sports and like human interest stories, but for me, like the dream of mine was to always be in local news, especially in Chicago or in like another big city like Dallas, for example.
I love Dallas. I was just talking about Dallas the other day.
Really?
But
yeah, well,
it's a good place.
That's where my boyfriend's from, so that's the reason why I say it. I feel like I've mentioned him so many times, but anyways, so that's like another place where I do see myself like reporting, because you know it is a top 5 market, so like I do see myself in the top 5 markets, but also in local news. So like I know probably some people's dream is to be like on national TV. Like when I entered for News Nation, like the whole world is watching them, and that's like a whole other, you know, world where like I don't think that that's necessarily what I want, because I grew up in Chicago, so like I love Chicago. So when I watch ABC7, I'm seeing, you know, my home, and like I'm seeing things that like are going on in my backyard that I relate to, or that I need to know of, or that things are coming up, you know, like it was like this feeling of like home, you know, where it's like I would turn on and I know that I would see Cheryl Burton on my screen. Like that was just inevitable. Like it was just so certain, and it was always just so comforting. So it's like, that's what I want to do. Like I want to be in that local news, you know, in that realm, in that world where like people can turn on the TV and like they can see me and they'll know me, you know, like maybe people in Nebraska won't know me, or people in LA may not know me, but like the people in Chicago know me, and
people
like,
in the place that you love,
that's what matters, because that's the place I love and that's the place I care about, or wherever that be, you know, maybe the world takes me somewhere else, but like I'm in that city and I want to be reporting for local news, because you know, national news is important, and like it should be reported on, and obviously anyone who gets the chance to go network would love the opportunity. You know, I'm not sitting here being like, I would never go network. Like, okay, come on. Everyone would love to go, you know, national. But like for me, like that's sure, like I would love it, but my goal is to be on local news and to just be, you know, like let's say like an anchor, you know, for like the 6 o'clock news, like, you know, ideal. Like that's everyone's kind of dream when they, you know, start off and when they're going into broadcast journalism. And although the road may not be straight, like I know it's there, and I need to just keep paving the way. So that's probably my dream goal. I don't know if it's sports, but I'm fine with general news. I love general news. And then I also love talk TV. So I don't know, like Windy City Weekend or Windy City Live at ABC7, like it's my favorite show. So like I love it, and I'm in that same building now. So like
I'll just such a cool experience.
Yeah, I know. And I'll like text Ryan Cheverini. I'm like, hey, can I come down to see the show? Because I want to get exposure to it, you know, and I love the show and I love what it's about. So yeah, that's awesome.
What a good way to look at things. You have very good like perspectives on your career and your life, like what you like. So I love that. Yeah. How do you say, podcast is called Fierce in the Field, how are you staying like fierce in your field? How are you staying motivated? How do you get yourself up in the morning, and how do you, I don't know, basically just make it the best day for you?
Yeah, well, I just simply surround myself with people that want the best for me and care for me. And that is just, it's always served me well. Every, it's just who you surround yourself with is who you are. So like I make sure to surround myself with hardworking people and people that, want to excel, and people that want to be fierce in their field, for lack of for the best words. But so that's what I'll do is, and if that just ends up becoming just my siblings and a close group of friends, which it is, like, so be it, like I just need to surround myself with people who care about me and who want to see me, be the best version of me that I can be. So that's kind of how I just stay fierce in my field. And also, like, I feel like even just through our whole conversation, like you just heard me say like everything that I've done, and like the more I talk about it, the more I realize like you just gotta do, like you just gotta get up in the morning and you just gotta do it. Like whether you're motivated, whether you're not feeling it, like you just need to do it, because if that's what you want to do, you just need to go forth and do it. Like it sounds like I'm Nike. Like they should sponsor me.
Just do it.
This is not a sponsorship.
Not sponsored by Nike,
not
guys.
Sponsored by Nike, but literally just do it. Like no one's gonna hold your hand, which is what I realized. Like no one's gonna sit here and like tell you like come this way.
Yes.
Apply here. Yeah. Like no, it's you at night scrummaging through websites that probably haven't been updated in years. So if you're a news station and you haven't been updating, please update, because people are looking for internships and positions. I'm just kidding, but literally just like doing it by yourself. And then it's also like another level of rewarding too, like when you do it yourself, where it's like, hey, I did all this myself. Like no one helped me. No one held my hand. It was all me.
This was like all executed by me.
Yes. So that's kind of how I do it, is just kind of staying motivated by seeing obviously my work come into fruition, and seeing like my accomplishments, and having my awards and my certificates in my room, and being like, that's cool. Or like my media passes to like the Chicago Fire game, being like, like that's mine. That's cool. So doing that and staying motivated and just being surrounded by people that are in the industry. Like I mean, I've met so many amazing people that like have just given me such good advice. Like I literally shadowed Brooke Fletcher the other day and at the White Sox, and she was like so just motivating, because it's like I think the biggest takeaway I took from her is like there's room at the top for multiple people. So it's like it's not like you versus me, like who's gonna get it, you know? And if you take it that way, like you're just not gonna make friends, and people are just not gonna like you, because the industry is so tiny, and like everyone knows everybody. So make sure you make friends, and you are on good blood with everyone, and on good terms with everyone, but no bad blood, because what goes around comes around, and it's and although it is competitive, like there's room at the top for sure. Like there has to be, like, because Brooke Fletcher, she's doing amazing, and so is Alyssa Bergamini, at the White Sox. Like they're both amazing, and they're both at the top, so it's like, why would you think otherwise?
Also, I hate comparing myself to other people, especially other girls that are doing this, because it's so fun to have friends that are pursuing the same thing as you. That's at least my opinion. Other people may say otherwise, but it's so fun, and
it's so refreshing, because it's like you guys get to like talk about the same things. Like, I feel like I definitely need more friends like in the industry, so like that's why I'm glad we're friends now.
Oh yes, totally, of course. Well, it's tough because I'm in a sorority at my school. And nobody does this. So it's like the friends that I was almost like given and like placed with, who I love dearly, but it's like I don't have anyone to relate to. No one totally understands why I'm lugging around this big ass camera around campus. Like everyone's like, what lighting. Are you doing? Or people are like, are you filming like a movie? I'm like, no. That's not what I'm doing.
It's a sit down interview.
Thank you. Thank you. Or I'm literally going to go film myself talking
in front of
a building.
The highway.
Like I'm doing a random like look live actually for my news class, and they think I'm like filming some kind of like feature film. So it's okay. But it's tough. But it's so rewarding to have people that you're surrounded with that like the same things as you. So yes. Okay, well, Thank you so much for coming
Absolutely.
on. If you want to share your socials or where people can find you.
Sure. It's just Vanessa Hoxha _VTV on Instagram. So.
Yes. Okay, well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode. Go follow Vanessa on everything. She is the best.
Just not X because I'm hacked. And
yeah, don't follow her on X or me, honestly, because I don't know what's going on with mine. But thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. This is so much fun.
This was so fun. And I will see everyone next time. That's all for today's episode, and what an awesome conversation Vanessa was. I am so thankful that she was able to join us in studio, and I hope you guys join us back again soon.